Now this part here is touching the ground, so
Yeah,
you're obviously cutting that up
I'm
some.
getting there. I'm on my way. Now, see, this is unfortunate. This is a graft. You know, I'm
Oh.
seeing I'm going to lose it here because I'm getting too close. But that's what happens.
Well, wouldn't you want to, like, do one of these that go up and then cut it later on when it gets stronger out
But
this way?
here's the thing. You see, it's all about a flow, and you see how as this goes up, it crosses this space, and see if you look at everything's coming out, you know, flowing out,
Mm-hmm.
and see this will cross over that, so it's just it doesn't have a future, so it's okay.
Now, since that's a graft, can you cut it and graft it onto some other part?
Well, I could, but you wouldn't do it today. What you do now is you cut the cyan wood at this time of year, and you store it in a cooler, and then in April, when the sap's coming into the tree, that's when you graft in. See, if you graft it now, it's just going to be exposed to the weather and dry out, and it probably wouldn't survive. But if you wait till April as the sap comes in, you plug it in.
So you could save that in a cooler?
Yeah, I put my walk-in cooler, and because it's in a cool like a dormant place,
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing changes, and so it still has its life form. And then when I bring it out of that cooler and I plug into the tree with the sap coming in, then it immediately reconnects and starts growing.
Now, will anything ever...
Yeah, it always, and all summer long, when they first start out, this is real important. As little buds begin to develop in the summertime, when they're little, I take my glove and I just go with my trees and rub them all off. And here's the wisdom. You see all that heavy wood that I'm cutting off there?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having that energy go into something I'm going to cut off later that creates shade, by taking out early on, the energy goes into the branches I want and in the fruit. So you transfer, you don't waste a lot of energy you're going to cut out later, because see, that's a lot of energy to create all that wood.
Right.
And so all summer long, I come walking in and I just go up to these trees and I just rub off all those when they're very little with the glove, so you don't leave a wound. It's just very quick, and it really keeps it, limit. See, for instance, you see that like that pear tree there.
Right.
See, I didn't do that. You see all those little suckers. That's how all these would be if I hadn't, rubbed them off. And you see what a mess that is.
Mm-hmm.
It was just because I had so many people come, I didn't have time to keep up with. So some of those I didn't get at, and you can just see how cluttered and mess. So by doing that through the summer, I eliminate the clutter, the mess, and then the later having to prune.
But see, like right here, you have this huge open spot. Wouldn't you want, like, maybe another branch coming out from here?
But then if I
It would
came
cover
out like
this.
it would shade this. And you see, this is right at eye level. I can reach any child walking here, so this is very convenient access. We're up here now. I have to reach for
I get
this.
that.
Is all right. So you just look how accessible everything's just like.
Right, I mean, you can just walk through it.
It's totally accessible. So this is the whole idea of it. Is just I'm developing something very, very practical, accessible, convenient. Where up here, even though I have this space, it would shade this. This is just more accessible.
So, what kind of apple trees do you grow?
Quite a few varieties.
Do you ever worry about, like, cross-pollination, I guess?
It's not a worry. It's necessary. See, apples are not self-fertile, and if they're not cross-pollinated, they won't bear fruit. And so that's why you have to have multiple varieties, because you want to have cross-pollination. That's what generates food.
So that's okay for apples, but not for, like, broccoli or tomatoes?
Because you want to either maintain the same variety, where with apples, unless they're cross-pollinated, they won't produce. That's why your apple seed won't be the same as the apple you took it from, because another variety cross-pollinated it, and so now you have a variation. And that's why they keep coming up with new varieties all the time. People will plant seeds, from different varieties, and then they'll have they'll take certain varieties and actually cross-pollinate intentionally, trying to develop new varieties that are good quality. That's what I think is so interesting, because you have constantly wonderful new varieties coming out that were never here before because they just happen. So you never get limited. Always have new options.
Now, all these branches and stuff that you're cutting off now, what do you plan on doing with that?
Those I take to the guy with that big tub grinder in town, and he grinds it off and makes compost to sell to the public. So it's all recycled.
But you don't chip it up and throw it in your...
No, because for me to run a chipper, it takes so much time and expense, fuel, and it's not worth it. You saw that guy in the film. He shared, because he used to use a chipper, not as that big tub grinder.
Right.
He says chipping is just too slow. It's just not, and it is. It's just you got to take one branch at a time. It just takes forever. Now back to that question you had over there about why don't you let something develop here? Now, see,
right.
This here's a big open space.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let this develop now.
This one here?
Yeah, because see, this can fill in here, and that's okay because there's nothing else there.
Right.
So that just happened this year. This is a new thing. So this is what's so cool about your trees, is every year they give you new options. New branches develop, so you get new potential and places to fill available to you every year that you didn't have before, which is kind of neat. So your tree is in a constant state of basically upgrade, if you're taking care of it. See, same thing here. So now I get to speak. I'll let this speak. Take on off and develop a branch there that wasn't there before. So that wasn't there last year. That's a new option.
So this is pretty easy.
It's very easy.
I mean, you explained it once, and I pretty much got...
And again, it's the kind of thing that as you do over and over, the more you do, the better you get.
Right.
And what's so I love nature is that every year it gives you new options, and it's never like I blew it.
Right.
It always comes back, and you can do it again. And so as time goes on, you start developing. It's basically an art form, and it's like you're developing your artistic ability. And I think it's so wonderful about it is that every year it's forgiving, even whatever mistakes you made before, it comes back and gives you new options, and so you can always improve on what you're doing.
Now, like, right here, you have this knot, that one, and that one, and that one, and this whole thing here.
Yeah, because those are all
At some point, will you just say, you know what, cut it here and let it grow back? I mean, is that okay for...
They'll all heal over. This will all eventually heal over. It's not a problem. And I don't want anything back there anyway. I want it all out here, so that's fine, and it'll heal. It's not something that's going to stay ugly like that. That bark will grow over it and totally remove all that.
And all of your trees you do like this? The pear trees?
Oh,
and
everything. This is a pear tree.
Oh, I remember you saying that. Now, if you cut off bigger branches like how this one was, will you keep that for like firewood or something?
Yeah, the big ones I use for firewood. And what we use that for is we have a nice walk-in, an outdoor barbecue.
Right.
Not barbecue, oven, outdoor oven where we do pizza and everything. So, and it makes such a nice smoke coming off of the fruit wood. It's really delicious, very very nice. So, I use all my apple wood for our.
Now, have you ever started a tree from seed, or do you always buy the...
I've never, because with the seed you don't know what you're going to get.
What do you mean?
That's what I say, you don't know what you're going to get, because it's not the same as you took it from.
Oh.
So it's going to be a variation of what you took it from. So, and that's the advantage of planting, certain varieties, like that's a good variety. It's already been demonstrated, so you're sure what you're getting. Whereas the seedling, you have no idea. It's going to be a variation.
And what time of year do you plant trees like the seedlings?
Well, in February is when the nurseries bring them in bare root from the growers, and that's the best time to get them and plant them. That how beautiful it looks. It's just so satisfying, very fulfilling. You're like feeling like, oh, that was fun. That was enjoyable. You know, look how nice my trees are getting.